Kamam ashritraya dushparam dam bamam danaveta mohad grivata sadgrahan pravatanente shuchivarata. Giving themselves up to insatiable desires full of hypocrisy, excessive pride and arrogance, holding wrong views through delusion, they act with impure resolves. These people are full of damp, hypocrisy, man, excessive pride and mad arrogance. They've given themselves up to insatiable desires. The word dushvar is used, and it means that that which can never be filled and that which can never become complete. These people go on to the support of such insatiable desires that can never be complete. Through delusion, they hold wrong views and mythical principles. The word guru vita is used meaning holding on to. They act with impure resolves. People with cruel deeds behave like this in life. What things are said here in this verse? First of all, these people are full of damp, hypocrisy, man, excessive pride, and mud, arrogance. Second, they go on to the support of insatiable desires. Third, they hold wrong views through delusion. And fourth, they act with impure resolves. This is how such people behave in the material world. We will look at all of them one by one. These people give themselves up to insatiable desires. Desires are dushpur because they can never become complete. Sri Krishna has already said this early in the Gita. One can never be fulfilled because of desires. The reason for this is that the more one gets, then the more is not enough. When we speak about desires, then the mind becomes like a bottomless hole, where the more you fill it, then the more is not enough. Vedantas say that this is just like the activity of filling a bottomless pot. Trying to become satisfied because of desires is like trying to fill a bottomless pot. A bottomless pot can never be filled with water, and in the same way the mind can never be filled because of desires. These desires can never become complete. This is because when one becomes fulfilled, then another one increases, and when a second one becomes fulfilled, then a third one increases. Such a person is full of dumb hypocrisy, man, excessive pride, and mud, arrogance. Madhusudan Saraswati has given a very beautiful definition of this part of the verse. He has given the definitions of all three words first: dam, man, and mud. Hypocrisy, excessive pride, and arrogance. What can you tell a person who is full of dam? We also saw earlier in this chapter that when you describe demonic characteristics, that dam, hypocrisy, is when a person is not firm in dharma, in their mind, yet despite this, through their speech and behavior, they make a show of being dharmic in front of people. This is dam, hypocrisy. Man, excessive pride, is when one does not have the qualifications for adoration in themselves, and yet try to show to others why they have qualifications. This is man, excessive pride. And mud, arrogance, is when in reality one lacks great qualities, and there is nothing great in them when you try to look, but yet despite this they keep proclaiming their greatness in front of other people. This is mud, arrogance. An asura demon is a person full of these three things: dam, hypocrisy, man, excessive pride, and mud, arrogance. This is what these people are like. They hold wrong views through more delusion. This is because if they had vivek, discrimination, then they would not hold on to these wrong principles. But they have held on to these wrong principles. How? Because of more delusion. It's because of wrong principles. You find many people like this. You should understand that these asura demons, they talk like this. Once I bumped into a person like this. He came to me and asked me the question that what would you do if Shivratri and Janmashtami came on the same day? I told him that Shivratri and Janmashtami can never come on the one same day, and this would be impossible. He told me to assume that they did. I told him that it is not even a question of assuming. Shivratri is on the 13th day in the fortnight of the month of Mahavat, and Janmashtami is on the 8th day in the fortnight of the month of Shravan. Therefore, these two holy days can never come on the same day. It is impossible because they are way apart. He told me to assume that happens. He kept holding on to assuming, and there is no answer to assuming. I told him that it is not possible. I told him to leave aside Mahashivratri and Janmashtami, the Shivratri that comes on the 13th day of every fortnight on every month, and the 8th day of every fortnight on every month. Both the Shivratri and the 8th day never fall on the same day ever. According to our lunar calendar, it is possible that one day can be taken out or removed. For example, if the 8th day and the 10th day come next to each other, of the 9th day goes, but the 8th day and the 13th day coming together would require the removal of 4 days. This can never happen. Looking back at the last 100 years, it is confirmed that this is impossible. But the person hold on to saying, just assume that it was so. Then I realize that this is an asur, demon. He has held on to the wrong views through more delusion. Then I have to give a reply in this language, otherwise he will not understand it. I told him that, look now, this is not possible, that Mahashivratri and Janmashtami have one on the same day. But if you are saying to assume that they come, then if they come, then on that day I would eat savories of makand, pure butter, by frying them in ghee, clarified butter. Then this person just kept looking at me thinking, frying savories of makan, pure butter in ghee, clarified butter. He asked me, how can this happen? I told him that it could not happen and that he should sit down. Until you do not sit to these people in this way, then until then they do not understand. This is demonic attitude. The reason for this is that the questions they are asking are not in order to attain something, but in order to prove the predominance that I am very clever and I know a lot. This is the reason for which they ask questions, and for questions asked by people who hold wrong views through more delusion. You have to answer them in this way. When Bhagwan Buddha's discourses were being advertised, then it was said that people cannot ask certain questions to Buddha. This was advertised right from the beginning. Before Buddha's discourses were held, a board was put up with the writing that people should not ask certain questions and that they could ask anything else that they wanted. In the Bridyanka Upanishad, there is a conversation between Yajnavalkya and Maitreya. Maitreya keeps asking questions and questions and questions. Ultimately, this is after all a behavior of woman, objection sustained. She kept asking questions and questions and questions. At that time, Yajnavalkya says, Mati Prashi Bhava. Maitreya, now do not ask too many questions. Put the message I have given to you in practice and apply it. The path ahead will become clear to you by itself. This is what Mahashri Yajnavalkya said. Mati Prashi Bhava. Maitreya, now do not ask too many questions. Put the message I have given to you into practice and apply it. The path ahead will become clear to you by itself. Many times you have to say to straight people that they should not ask too many questions and that they should not speak too much. They should accept what has been said and put into practice. Give yourself some time and then move ahead. But these asuras, demons, never think about putting into practice and just like speaking about principles. Therefore, whenever you bump into such a person, then fold your hands on them and say, we do not talk with asura demons. Mati Prashi Brava. Maitreya, now do not ask too many questions. Put the message I have given to you into practice and apply it. The path ahead will become clear to you by itself. There's not even an end to questions. These people are asura demons. It is then said in this verse that these people act with impure resolves. The word of vrat is used and can mean two things. The first is vows that we make, and the second is the behavior of the person. These people make impure resolves for both of these. They are wrong resolves and a myth. These people are sura demons. Sometimes you see this and uneducated people. When you walk on a road, then there are days like this, especially in South India, where they pull swords out of their tongue to set their bodies to fire. When this comes on the television, then I close the television. How can you watch this? When someone gets hurt with a thorn, then we get sad in our hearts, and these people put things on their skin and pull chariots. It's so cruel. This is acting with an impure resolve. I have my own doubts about whether the chariot moves on its own by this person alone. Pain certainly reaches them. This is acting with an impure resolve. Verse 11. Chintam aprimayam cha pralayantam